What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a general channeled reading for the collective. Okay, remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal, so take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay, so you may notice I'm using something totally different, just helping to kind of cleanse the energy as I go through the readings today for these messages. Okay. This is my cellulite wand that I have on my desk at all times. Okay. I had this custom made. So it's just to help me cleanse the energy as I'm doing the readings today. Okay. Kind of just a little, break in between doing the new monthly manifestations that'll be coming out briefly for the next groups. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and dive into these. Honorable mentions, I'll go ahead and say now, is Virgo in seventh house placement. Okay. Leo, Pisces, and Aries. Okay. I'm not going to really state the sign in particular unless the divine tells me to. Okay. So, again, those are the signs that these messages are related to. Okay. So, to start off, someone is testing another with minuscule like task or menial task at the beginning of a dating phase. Okay. So basically, whoever this person is, you're in the midst of dating someone right now, and you're trying little tests to see if they'll do stuff for you. Okay. Um, just an example, you could be, maybe having a conversation like, oh, I sure am hungry, just to see if the person will offer to take you somewhere to eat or something. Okay. Please don't do this. Okay. It makes you come off as codependent. Okay. In the sense of, if you want them to do something, you can easily just ask. If you need help doing something around your house, such as lifting something heavy, just ask. Just come out blatantly and say, hey, I really am trying to move something in my house. Is there any way you could come by and see if you could help me with it? That's not, you could just as well test them in that sense, but not really, because you're actually needing assistance with something. So, that's not being codependent. That's actually being vulnerable in the sense of being able to ask someone for help. Okay. Now, the person will do for you on their own terms if they like you. Okay. Now, let's rephrase the whole, if you're hungry kind of vibe. Okay. If you come out and say, man, I really had a taste for such a day, you want to grab something with me, then let them say yes or no. If they say no and they give a justifiable reason, doesn't mean that they don't like you. It means whatever it means, in the sense of, oh, I like that place too, but I'm not really hungry right now. Maybe next time. Okay. Doesn't mean they don't like you, but they gave reason. Okay. In another way, it could be, hey, you care to, grab a bite to eat with me today? They say yes, then of course they like you. They make time for the person who they want to spend time with. Anyone who wants to do something will make the time. Okay. So allow them to do that. You don't have to go through these little, mind games to see if they're willing to do something for you. Okay. So just saying. Now, let's go on to the next message. Someone is in jeopardy of getting pregnant. Okay. For some reason, you're not able to refill your birth control. All right. Plain and simple, very easy. Use a condom. All right. Plain and simple. I'm sure you already know that. That's nothing from the divine. Okay, that's just common sense. But the biggest thing here is if they're not willing, if your partner is not willing um, to do that, to use the condom or any other contraceptive, or even stay abstinent for a while until you're able to get the refill, then turn them down. Okay? Have the willpower to say, we're not doing anything until I get my refill in. Okay? If you may need to gauge how often you are sexually active, because maybe you should change birth controls into something that's a little bit more convenient for you, maybe, such as maybe getting a shot or getting patches. Um, I'm not really fond of the whole IUD thing, as far as getting an implant. Kind of heard, kind of mixed reviews on those. Or get a larger refill prescription. If you've been getting 60 days or you get it every 30 days, get auto refill so that way you don't have to worry about it, and constantly do manual refills. Or get one that lasts more, so like 90 days if you can. Okay, that way it stretches a little bit further. All right. I do get this feeling of someone kind of being like on maybe the last few pills, and forgetting to put in the refill. There is also the other fail safe of a plan B, so you can avoid it, but they are pretty pricey. Okay, so unless somebody willing to go in half, then no sex is my final message. Okay, so hopefully that helps in some respect. Okay, um, that's all I'm gonna go there. I would suggest that you go and look if you're in Virgo or you have a Virgo placement. Maybe go and look at some of the Virgo Heart's Desire readings from last summer. That may help you a little bit, because there was a situation. Again, I'm not putting it directly on Virgo energy, but it could be that you have a Virgo placement that's in seventh house, like I said, um, in the honorable mentions. That could be of some assistance to you. Okay, it was like a brief reading in regards to possible pregnancy. Okay, also tap into your souls for Virgo as well. Okay, so those few readings might help. Now, let's go ahead and keep on pushing forward to the next message. Someone has a dog and possibly recently brought a sculpture, okay? And at this point, you're kind of wondering about the dog's behavior around it, okay? It seems to be like I kind of got a small vision of a large floor model piece, that's kind of multicolored and it's very abstract. It doesn't really have a real form to it. It's very flowy, if you will. Kind of looks like a void. Um, your dog is trying to determine what it is, okay? And wherever it is, it's taking up a lot of room. It's in the way. Okay, that's the best thing that I can say. It's like I've seen or feel like I see the dog in front of whatever the object is that you've recently purchased, and they just keep looking at it. And with it being multicolored, you know how they say dogs are kind of colorblind. They only really react well to maybe solid colors, if anything. Okay. Um, and then there's a thing of them seeing in black and white. So depending on like the shades of the art piece, it could really be throwing them off. And so like if they're running past it, you call for them, and they're running past it, it may look like the sculpture is moving, possibly. But like I said, it just kind of looks like a void, if you will. And so my advice to you is to move it. Okay, if you can possibly move it into an area and where your dog is not frequent, then maybe that will kind of reduce the possibility of him being very anxious or nervous around the object. Okay. So I don't know if maybe the spot that you put it in is just temporary, or maybe you're maybe doing video of the dog's reaction to the piece, possibly just momentarily. But if it's a permanent fixture in your house, move it to another area so that way it's not in the way visually for your pet. Okay. So, lastly, someone is dealing with harassment on the job. Okay. Um, the best thing that I can tell you is to take documentation of the situation and report it to your HR. Okay. It feels as though there's an energy of maybe another person going through the same thing. And there's some form of favoritism in the job. Maybe there's um, someone who's either a relative or a friend to the person who is committing the harassment. Okay. And so they're possibly not going to handle the situation, or have just kind of brushed it over, or said uh, kind of lightly that they'll deal with it, but they're not. And so it just keeps continuing. So the best thing for you to do is to just really just document it as things occur. And if there's another person along with you that is struggling with the same thing, um, then the two of you can kind of pair together and work with HR to kind of get this situated or handled. Okay. I'm sure another option is for you to find another job, but that is pretty hard in these days and times. Not saying that you shouldn't, but that's going to add to your immense stress of trying to get out of the position that you're in. Okay. So, with that being said, I think that is everything that I have for you guys at this time when it comes to channeled messages. Again, be on the lookout for a few more. I am on a spiritual vacation until February, about like the second week of February. Preliminary readings will be back by then. Channel readings will kind of go on hold. I really only use them when I'm going to be on a long vacation. But I will be getting out monthly manifestations out for the next two groups within the next few days or so. So you can check those out as they have been updated from the usual. All right. So until next time, peace.